It's crazy to think about because it's been so many years now. Oh my God. I was fresh out of my nursing career. I had no idea what was in front of me. There was a naive sort of hubris about me that I knew best and that nobody could tell me how to make my art.
You used to wanna burn my organs, pour the bourbon, bear my burdens for the moment. Can I get some out?
Even though it was my very first EP as a signed recording artist, it was the follow-up to my independent release called The Reaper that had kind of made it possible for me to transition out of being a nurse and into being a full-time musician. There was so much pressure. It was like, oh, they signed a fraud. I was scared shitless out of my mind, like, to be quite honest. I definitely had no idea what I was doing. Had no idea how to engineer, write, produce, record, or anything. I was just shooting from the hip. But like, how beautiful and fun is that, right?
Stressed out.
So there were 4 tracks on Skeletons, but I think the one that is the most significant of them is the title track, Skeletons. And I had written it kind of about my, like, the cognitive dissonance that I had doing a career in something that wasn't music, you know? I'd gotten into it with my dad, and I immediately went up to my room. I was like, I'll show him, and I wrote Skeletons like in an hour. I can't argue.
All my skeletons out for taking. Somebody take them.
Yeah, it just feels very candid.
Feel like summer and I don't wanna miss you. If we don't touch lips, not an issue.
Truly, this whole trilogy of EPs was a developmental process for me. And I think we can see the growth with every single one. Everything always felt like a conversation with the fan base in the greatest way.
I think Band-Aids was figuring out how to expand my production. I think Skeletons had really good ideas, but like, you know, very amateur execution. And Band-Aids was just kind of the next like step into that. And always also, it was all just a progression.
Hello, you ain't crying up, but I just need to hear this someday.
I was making Band-Aids while on the Skeletons tour. Of course, my management, my label had all of the demos, but I never felt like there was anything that was really convincing to me to release quite yet. They thought otherwise. That was the first time I'd ever gotten any kind of pushback on like a deadline. There was a lot of pressure because Band-Aids was the first record that I had made while being signed, whereas Skeletons was made before. And maybe that's why I felt like things weren't ready. Like I now had to concoct something that was going to be a hit immediately or blow up immediately to help with my imposter syndrome.
Want it so bad, but I won't lie. And it just gets worse in that time. Never stays for long.
They pressured me to release Band-Aids before I thought it was ready. But Band-Aids ended up being a record that really resonated with the fans. And there is a testament to trusting in the ears of the people that surround you.
The first visual introduction to Band-Aids was a music video that we shot for Right Here. And this was actually shot while we were on the Skeletons tour when we were in New York. Let's see.
I think somewhere's overdue. Could we just do it?
I just remember thinking in my head that I really wanted like a phone booth like picture. Kenji and I were really into like static wide shots at the time. They were actually, like, New York was in the process of eliminating all the phone booths that existed, so there were like, I think 5 or 6 left. And we found the closest one to our hotel, or like Airbnb, and we went straight there on our only off day to go shoot the music video. And we edited it on the plane. On the plane to the next city. I sat next to Kenji and we edited the video together, I remember. And we would show my manager James, like, you know, he was a couple rows behind us. We would be like, get over here, come and see the edit, you know. Visually, that's kind of when the identity started to take a little bit more shape, you know. The artist, the idea of the artist that I was making was starting to distill. It was like the perfect amount of candid and listenable. I was still retaining some of that authenticity, which I still have, right? But I mean, like that naivety, I was still retaining that naivety that I had carried from, you know, the Reaper and Skeletons, but it was starting to become a little bit more palatable as I learned more about recording and everything. Just enough of both of those elements made it into like a powerful concoction, I guess.
But if you are ever in need, and God has you down on your knees, and you do not know who to be, then go on and come home to me, because I'm here.
Right here. This was actually a really interesting time because it was actually when COVID was happening. I had nothing but time on my hands to just lock myself in a room and make this 30p.
Hey, where'd you go? Could've sworn that you were sleeping over.
This was my very, very first studio. I had just moved out of my parents' house, and I was so eager to like drill holes in this wall and like have a room where I could make music kind of uninhibited. Because around like 9 o'clock, my parents would start to yell at me because I was getting too loud. And now I could stay up till the wee hours of the morning just like making music, so. The nice thing was that because of all the self-learning I had done, I knew enough about every process of music making that I could just do the whole EP on my own. And Kenji also lived in Houston at the time, so it was just him and I doing what we did best. Except now, the music was really starting to take shape. I was going back and writing full songs again. I was more like, there's a song on there called Drunk that is still one of my biggest songs to this day. And I didn't realize how many people were gonna love this one, but we had rented like a studio out in Austin, Texas, and like an infinity wall, and this is where we shot the cover art for Always. And production's gone up a little bit. I have a U87 microphone now. I'm still engineering everything by myself. I still have the exact same pair of headphones and pop filter and guitar and everything, but for some reason, people really, really resonated with this video, and I think it really influenced how people connected with the song, so. Yeah, very special one for sure.
Don't need nobody else. All my friends are drunk again.
I feel like, yeah, I am a little bit closer to this person than anybody else. Just because, like, I've experienced a little bit more, you know? But yeah, it's definitely easier to watch these than the previous videos.
Says you want more, I'm not enough. Getting low when I think I'm giving up. Baby, come on.
I think the artist part of me was changing the most. I think I started to feel like the way that I was making art was becoming stale. And you could kind of see it in the music and in the visuals that I was kind of trying to stretch out my arms a little bit. It's definitely not possible for me to go back and make something like Skeletons, Band-Aids, or Always anymore. Like, kind of what I talked about before was that there was like a naivety and like a brashness in kind of covering untrodden territory for myself that made it so easy, effortless to make stuff like that, you know? You kind of just, sometimes I feel like artists are just a conduit for the things that they make. Just given their place in the world and like their experience and the taste that they've developed and everything.